RTO Online's in Jackson Hole, Wyoming at the 2009 ColorTyme Summer Retreat. We're here with ColorTyme franchisee Tim Kelly. Welcome, Tim.
Thank you.
First, your store is in where?
Oh, we have 3 stores. We've got 2 in Illinois and 1 in Florida.
And you're partners with?
Ron Kohler.
Ron Kohler. And you're also partners with Ron in PC Rental Agent?
Correct. We developed a software package to help rental dealers and to solve some of the problems that we were experiencing in rent-own, and then kind of pass it out to other dealers, and it's kind of taken off pretty good for us.
What's your background in the rent-own industry before you became a ColorTyme franchise?
Well, I ran into Ron and a bunch of good rent-own guys when I worked at the corporate office in Erie, Pennsylvania with Rentway.
Rentway.
So I worked with Rentway for several years, learned rent-own, went out in the field, kind of like the rent-own model, and then after Rentway, got a call from my partner Ron. He was out working with Ace TV Rentals in Arizona, so I went out there and worked, and that got bought out and purchased as it became a Aaron's franchise, and then as an Aaron's franchise, we ran that for a while and decided that been in rent-own for quite a while and said, you know what, we're doing all this work and we're making a lot of money for somebody else, so why not do it for ourselves? And as a matter of fact, you pick up, matter of fact, I think it was off of RTO Online, you get the advertisement from ColorTyme saying, you know, live the dream and stuff. And we read it, you know, we started looking at rent-own, and we shopped several things. We talked with several of the competitors, some of the different packages, and we settled on ColorTyme. And then it was just a matter of where do we put the stores, or where do we market, you know, what markets do we want, and that was 5 years ago.
Did you start in Illinois or Florida?
We opened our first store in Illinois, and then about 8 months later, we opened the second store in Florida. And like a lot of operators, we were going to, you know, we're going to have 20 or 30 stores by now, and we've got 3, and it just takes, you know, it's a lot harder. And when you're responsible for the money and the checkbook, you know, you don't want to grow too fast. So.
That's the biggest difference between being a multi-unit manager and an owner? You have to write the check yourself?
Yeah, and I always joke about that with Ron and stuff. You know, you write everybody else's check first, and you're the last one that gets paid. And if you don't do something right, then you don't get the opportunity to get that paycheck.
That's motivation.
It's a lot of motivation. You make the decision, and you have to live by the decision. For the last 10, 15 years, Ron and myself, we always could blame that on corporate. It was always, you know, somebody at corporate you could blame it on. Or you never had to worry about it. You never worried about what you were spending or that product line. So it's a big change. It was a big learning curve the first couple of years.
You guys split the duties, Illinois and Florida?
We share pretty much and do both. You know, I still live in Erie, Pennsylvania. Was up there with the Rentway, still got a house up there. Ron sold his place. He moved in Florida to Florida, and in the wintertime, I love going to Florida a lot more than I do Illinois.
That's where it's extra attention in January. Is that what you're trying?
Yeah, so I go to Florida a lot in the wintertime. So.
Has the economy affected those stores differently, being in different parts of the United States?
Yeah, it really has. We've noticed that in Florida it's been a little bit tougher. It's been a little bit tougher for us. Illinois hasn't seemed to be hit as hard, and really I think it's because maybe that we're in Jacksonville in Florida. I think Jacksonville's a little more transient. A lot of construction workers, I believe, left that area and stuff. So we've noticed that in Jacksonville it's a little tougher, basically trying to get new sales.
Unemployment a little higher in Florida than
I think they're probably about the same. You know, the customer's concerns are typically the same. The customer walks in your rent-own store with the intent on owning that product. Right. So if they, you know, nobody's going to come in and say, I'm going to rent that and I'm going to return it, even though that's an option that they can use. So they pretty much want to buy it, go to ownership. But if they're not comfortable about their job, if they don't feel good about their employment, then they're not willing to take that, you know, commitment and take that risk. So we've noticed, you know, customers a little hesitant to, you know, want to, you know, take on any more financial responsibility.
Is that changing? Do you think things are we lightening up? If you read the polls, people are feeling a little more confident. Do you see any of that?
We're starting to see that. We're starting to see where the customer is starting to feel more, you know, the consumer confidence is back. Also, we're starting to see the customer come back into rent-own that we haven't seen in a long time.
Really?
You know, a few years ago, you know, everybody got a credit card. You know, everybody, heck, your dog, the stories of your dog getting the credit card, you got tons of, so credit was easy. So typically, if you were a consumer that was concerned about a price, you could go anywhere and put it on the credit card. Now, as long as you didn't make the minimum payment, you know, you basically was a financial transaction. So a lot of the customer base that was a typical rent-own customer that didn't have credit, didn't have something established, was unable to purchase a product outright. left the industry a few years ago as credit became widely available. And what we're seeing now is customers typically that didn't have rent-to-own as an option now could reconsider rent-to-own. So we're starting to see a better, let's say, better quality customer, but more opportunities of people that would, a year ago not consider rent-to-own now looking at the rent-to-own transaction. We've changed our business model a little bit too to kind of cater that. We have same as cash, where we push same as cash, some opportunities and early purchase options, and those make a very good, selling point to customers.
Do you think that'll be a long-term benefit? Do you think that expanded customer base will stick around even after the economy improves?
Well, I think so, because I think rent-to-own has got a lot to offer. I mean, you basically, while you're renting a product, it's fully protected. It's for example, an extended warranty program. We offer other benefits. There's some benefit programs in rent-to-own. So I think as customers come in and they realize that it is a good deal and how good it is, that you'll see them reconsider it and use that in the future. I really do. I think that's going to really help the industry.
Why ColorTyme?
Well, we went through them all. We went through, looked at all the franchises back and forth, and what really helped make us decide to go with ColorTyme was the inventory financing. There's the different models and stuff are all different. You can look at all the different opportunities out there, and when we kind of compared them, we thought that the ColorTyme offered us the best deal. It was real simple for us. We basically, once we made the decision, we signed the paperwork, and we were open in 30 days.
Really?
And nobody else could do that for us. And basically, it established a line of credit for us that basically allowed us to grow and allowed us to open up 2 more stores. So ColorTyme's been a great partner with us, and they've really helped and wanted us to grow. And the other thing, what we kind of liked with ColorTyme is we had some friends in the industry. Some had tried the different models, and with the feedback and the recommendations from a lot of guys were, take a look at ColorTyme. If you didn't need a lot of support, didn't need a lot of help in certain areas, in which Ron and myself didn't, they were fabulous. Where, for example, in Aaron's franchise, they do a lot of corporate office support. They do a lot of that stuff for you. In those options, we didn't really feel were beneficial to us. So,
moving forward, new stores, more stores.
We'd like to open some more stores. We still want to get in and have multiple stores. We'd like to have. We said by 2010 we'd like to have 10 stores, but that's probably not going to happen. We want to make sure that our cash is secure and that we're financially stable and stuff. So we plan on, we'd like to have basically around about 10 to 12 stores.
Interested in getting into wheels and tires?
Now, we've looked at that and talked to a few guys, and I think we're just going to kind of sit back and kind of see how that kind of goes. I don't quite understand it, how it all works. So
payday loans in Illinois or Florida?
Well, when we started out, we got a payday loan license for Florida, and we were licensed to do payday loans, and we looked at opening up a payday loan business, and we had the license for a couple of years. Last year, we decided not to renew it and decided to concentrate on the core business. So
do what you do well?
Yeah, we do. We do really good in the rent-to-own side of it. The financial side of it with the payday loans brings on some there's some experience and expertise that we really don't have, and we feel that basically at this time it's not prudent for us to do that.
And we interviewed Ron earlier, and the PC rental agent business is booming.
Yeah, actually that's done really good for us. It was really a shock. It was kind of a surprising piece of technology that we created just to kind of help ourselves, and then we kind of passed it out, and then actually, just for the heck of it, we threw, I believe, an ad on RTO Online when we launched the product, and it's taken off pretty good for us.
Selling it all around the world.
Yeah, we sell it in 7 countries. We have a couple thousand customers, and it's taken off really good. Their thing is, it's affordable. We do it in rent-to-own ourselves. We do it because we're cheap. We're like any other operator. We don't want to pay a lot of money for anything.
We should say the PC rental agent is software that lives on a computer that can locate or shut down that computer. Should you have a skip?
Yeah, so it locks down, and basically, bottom line, what it does is in a rent-to-own transaction, the customer decides he wants to return, no longer wants to pay for that computer. So what you have with the software is the ability to turn that computer off, and that encourages the customer to not keep it because they're going to return it versus trying to use it until you basically return it. Also, if it becomes lost, typically there's some high losses on computers and laptops, and that's why we originally developed it. The software helps you locate it and recover the laptop. So
simple but very necessary.
Real simple, and we do it so it's affordable. So basically,
and like most great things, it happened by accident.
It happened by accident. It really just it was funny how it kind of happened. So.
Tim Kelly, ColorTyme franchisee, Illinois and Florida. Thank you.
Thank you.